There is an ancient proverb.
The pupil is ready, the master will appear. It will take dedication, it will take time.
This is Desiree Duvernay welcoming you to Nelson Medicine. This is eclosion in corpus, and we're going to be talking about clinical evidence for the QESP therapy. The word eclosion comes from the word to become an adult, such as the butterfly emerging from the cocoon, going through that rite of passage. Now, eclosion, we're going to be teaching you about the history of the subspace therapy, the entwinement principles. I'm Desiree, here with Rita, and we're going to be talking about there's no such thing as noise. It's only information we do not understand, meaning that there's an infinite to the power of infinity world.
Quantum computers are based on the fact that the quantum state of a computer memory contains much more information than its classical description.
A quantum computer will also be different in that it will manipulate and store quantum bits instead of classical bits. Classical bits can be in two states, 0, 1. Quantum bits can be in many possible states. And this new range of possibilities lead to new phenomena such as entanglement and interference. And we believe that this is what can give a quantum computer its power, these new phenomena.
In 1982, we proved that the synaptic cleft was under quantic, not thermodynamic control. So thought was a quantic process.
I was able to develop this in the software, not the hardware, of the SCIO, QXCI, and the SCIO, and later the eductor, to be able to use this trinary system in the logic. This trinary system will then take over if there is...
The first step would be making a true random number generator, since normal computers do not make real random numbers. We need to have a true random number. Then to stabilize this random number generator, like we would have in the I Ching, we decided to use a prayer wheel, a Tibetan prayer wheel, cycling prayers that through the computer memory, to make it into a prayer wheel. This would help to stabilize our indeterminacy generator so that we would be able to get this type of information and thereby make a computer that would have quantum software. We started this in 1996 and made an indeterminacy entwinement program using quantum principles. So we're able to not make the true hardware, but be able to make a software system, a quantic software system. And then we used the principles of entwinement and entanglement. We called this the QXCI. And then we had to be able to test it clinically. Back in 1974 and reproduced in 2014, we were able to reproduce the studies of showing a entwinement of people in their brainwave, the principle of entwinement communication. We were able to show that couples at a distance could communicate. But then we decided to do a large-scale study where we employed over 2,200 therapists who ended up doing over 100,000 patients with over 350,000 patient visits. They sent their data in. Some of this was double-blind, so we were able to get a very good perspective. And in so doing this large-scale study, we were able to study biofeedback, and many of the therapists were done in subspace. Now, of course, we had an ethics committee that's approval, and we did this, and this has all been published in a peer-reviewed medical journal. Now, what we were able to see in a host of different things is that vast quantities, over 50,000 of these patients were tested in subspace. And we found in the subspace that there was a statistical ability to heal these different patients in many different ways. Over 220 different diseases were reported and studied for their ability to be helped with the subspace and or the harness treatments. Conclusively, over and over again, we were able to show that there was an ability of the harness to work and also an ability of the subspace to work. It was absolutely safe. There was no reported major risks, no significant risks were reported. And this was a way, with the large-scale study, that we're able to show statistically to the world in hundreds of different diseases that we were dealing with an active, safe, and efficacious system, a system of subspace connection. We needed to be able to teach people how to use this system we developed over 25 years ago at the International Medical University, located now in the British Virgin Islands, and dedicated to evidence-based natural energetic medicine education. It is internationally accredited in the United States and other places. And we tried to teach people many different things so they can get a license. First, we need to teach them about lifestyle inventory, how to reduce the suppression and obstruction to cure that different lifestyle problems have. So we teach them how to intervene on the lifestyle, how to teach them how to eat better, how to reduce stress, how to give water, how to build a family environment, and teach them how to communicate. We also then try to teach them basic counseling skills, feedback, to be able to give people information and feedback, teaching them to become active listeners, because listening is healing in and of itself, and how to give the feedback to these people so that our patients would be able to get proper counseling in its base form, making sure that the people who are getting their QESP treatment are getting different things that are healing, as well as the healing power of prayer. Prayer works, and we're going to try to teach people how to use this and develop the healing power of prayer, to be able to do spiritual advice and to help people, because there is evidence that how the prayers work. We want our therapists to be able to use these things, and for them to be smart and to teach people how to eat smart. And then basically to try to help them to use bibliotherapy, how to use videos, books, and a host of other things for their different diseases, is that there's a natural cure for all different types of diseases, and that the library is a hospital for the mind. So using bibliotherapy. Then we want to have good intention, set the intentions, listen to the heart, stay focused, determined, practice determination, celebrate their achievements, and teach these things as all the therapists start to learn that intentions are like magnets and that they bring good energy if we can manifest them by keeping our minds within our faith and our belief strong. So, but then we also need to know, first, do no harm. It's nice to try to help people, but it's also very important to do no harm. How could we do harm if the device is so safe and so simple yet so safe? Well, we could give the wrong advice. Basically, a doctor's prescription that a doctor's given, this is a sacred legal trust, must be taken seriously, should never be dismissed or disrespected. We need to recognize, don't ever take somebody off their medication. If they're working with a doctor, try to help that doctor. Try to work with the system, not against the system. No matter what you believe personally about the drugs or the doctor involved, recognize that there's many different ways that you could hurt people with the medication. Provide advice, but always make sure that you never do anything that interferes with the doctor-patient medication relationship. You might be responsible for potential damages if you do this. If you feel that a medication might be wrong for the patient, provide them with evidence, discuss your concerns, and direct them to discuss that with their prescribing doctor. As we start to teach our people to do more and more work, the QESP therapists, and to recognize that they can do this through telemed, they can build a telemed practice, they can do this consistently, and they can do it easily. We have done the clinical research. I welcome you to address your questions. You see, we are all one. There's a connection. And you should expect miracles, because we're going to give you miracles. If you talk to anybody who's worked on our machine for any length of time, they will tell you a long list of miracles that have come from the subspace. The testimonials of QESP therapy are astounding, maybe even beyond some people's belief. But believe me, this is real. It is safe and effective. So not only to expect a miracle, but in sports, we can teach you to master the power within, to master the indeterminacy and the entanglement, to control the ball. Really, we can help you to do this. We've done it for others. So expect a miracle. Expect growth. Expect power. Expect safety. Expect efficacy. But make sure you get a properly trained immune therapist, one that's been trained through immune.